She's so famous. I also don't like a lot of attention. This is why people see me and they're like, well, this dude always mad.
You have resting bitch face.
Bitch.
Do you know what that is?
Ditching his wedding ring, as wife Jennifer Lopez vacations in Italy, their marriage is on the rocks.
There's more than trouble. I mean, they're clearly getting divorced.
Jennifer Lopez isn't going down without a fight, and she wants more than a divorce from Ben Affleck. She demands to have half of his $150 million fortune, even though she is worth double the amount of money he is. So let's get into it. It looks like Jennifer Lopez has a plan when it comes to her split from Ben Affleck, and he's not going to be happy about it because it looks like she's going to try to rob Ben blind, and she's demanding half of his $150 million fortune, which is surprising to me because I feel like Jennifer Lopez has more than enough money that she doesn't need half of Ben's. The couple who got married in 2022 have been going through a rough patch for the last few months. Radar Online is reporting that J-Lo has asked for half of Ben Affleck's $150 million fortune, a fortune that she did not work for, and she's worth about $400 million. So why does she need $75 million of his money? Maybe she's going to blame him for her career tanking, but that's really her fault. The source added she's demanding a full inventory of what she spent versus what he spent and wants all the money back she has invested. She isn't the one who gave up on their marriage, and she's feeling seriously burned and is out for blood. So she's pretty bitter that he wants to leave her. She wanted to work it out with him, and now that he's not going to work it out with her, she's going to make this a living hell. I mean, it seems like their entire marriage has been a living hell for Ben. The source continued, if he had stayed in the marriage like a good boy, she wouldn't have minded, but he abandoned her, and ultimately, J-Lo always gets payback, and now she's ready to play hardball. Ooh, and she seems very bitter, so I would not want to be in a legal battle with her. Meanwhile, during his appearance on Kevin Hart's talk show Heart to Heart, Ben Affleck stated that Jennifer Lopez's fame is effing bananas, talking about how the pop icon is important to people. Quote, we went somewhere with Jennifer, I can't remember because she's so famous and she creates this, but people love her. She really represents something important to people. Now, we all know that Ben is not a fan of the fame. He doesn't like all the attention, but he speaks pretty highly of Jennifer in this regard. Here's a clip of that interview.
She's so famous and she creates this, people love her, and she really represents something important to people. You know, people are like, hey, I like your movie. J-Lo! I also don't like a lot of attention. This is why people see me and they're like, well, this dude always mad. He's always bored. Because somebody has their camera and stick it in my face, and I'm like, okay, here we go. I don't mind. You take my picture, come out of a club or premiere or whatever, my wife, I don't give a go ahead, knock stuff out, I don't notice you. But with my children, that's a different thing. Well, I do find myself, I'm like, be sitting there at home, I'm looking, what's wrong? Nothing. And nothing's wrong. I'm like, nothing. I'm listening to this thing, I start thinking something wrong. But
you have resting bitch face.
Bitch.
Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is?
I have resting hard.
Now, I always thought that Ben was maybe miserable, and that's why he had the resting bitch face, but it looks like he's just born this way, which I can totally relate. I mean, let me give you guys an example. Like, it's not really happy looking, is it? Ben Affleck also spoke about an incident where the entire family paid a visit to Times Square in New York. He said, we got out of the car, we were going to play, and I was like, F babe, we're gonna be late. We gotta walk a block and a half. And it seems like that was a bad idea because with their level of fame and in Times Square, people were hounding them.
Get out of the car, we were going to a play, and I was like, okay, baby, we're gonna be late. Mr. The other kids were like, we gotta walk a block and a half. She was like, all right, she didn't even say shit. Get out with her, all the kids, through Times Square, and the shit was like a fucking bananas. Yeah. And then they're all tourists, whatever, just woof. Then I'm moving. We got like our 5 kids, me and Jen, and it's like, it feels like hundreds of people, and they're all screaming. Cool. My daughter just turns to me and goes, J-Lo was my stepmother.
Now, it seems like Ben was in a good mood during that interview because he hasn't been too happy lately. I mean, especially with headlines reading that Ben has been seen without his wedding ring in LA after spending the 4th apart from J-Lo. He was seen arriving to his office in LA on July 10th without his wedding ring, and it looks like they're coming up on their 2nd wedding anniversary, so not a good sign. Especially because they both were recently spotted wearing their rings within the past week, and they weren't together. Actually, I guess like J-Lo J-Lo was spotted in New York on July 5th, and she was wearing her ring, while he has been in LA and he was grabbing lunch, and he was seen wearing his ring as well. So they're giving us mixed messages.
Like ditching his wedding ring as wife Jennifer Lopez vacations in Italy. Amid rumors, their marriage is on the rocks. The actor stepping out in LA on a dinner date with his 18-year-old daughter Violet over the weekend. Ben keeping things casual during the outing. Noticeably missing from his outfit, his wedding band.
What can I tell you?
Despite no ring on Saturday, he was seen wearing it the next day when heading to his office.
I have no explanation for that.
While Ben's hanging out in LA, J-Lo's been over the pond, vacationing in Italy and hitting up Paris Fashion Week.
So the question remains, what's really going on with this couple? An insider in June said that the two were focused on their separate lives and don't have any summer plans together, which shows me that they've had really bad blood for a while now, because, you know, sometimes we plan our summers out far in advance. So they didn't even consider early in the year spending the summer together, probably because they weren't getting along. I mean, really, how long did J-Lo expect Ben to wait around and stay married for her reputation to heal? Ben continues to live at their Brentwood rental. He's been there for about 2 months now. He seems okay. He's been in the office every day and he seems focused on work and spending time with his kids, not his wife. During J-Lo's 4th of July trip to New York, a source told People that she didn't appear stressed. Jennifer has seemed happy and peaceful during her week in the Hamptons and doesn't appear upset at all, which makes me question, does this matter to you, or do you just have the upper hand and your lawyers are prepared to take half his fortune?
Jennifer Lopez looked tense while heading to Paramount Studios after reuniting with Ben Affleck, fueling rumors about their marriage. Affleck was seen wearing his wedding ring, hinting at possible reconciliation. Lopez had just returned from a solo vacation in Europe and attended Paris Fashion Week. Affleck, meanwhile, had a heated encounter with paparazzi outside their home. Despite all this, the couple hasn't commented on the divorce rumors.
Ben going off on the paparazzi was a little bit too much for me. I mean, I was worried that he was going to go into his breaking point. But there's some sources who claim that Jennifer is really trying to hope that they can make amends. I mean, there's a sliver of hope, a very small sliver, an Ozempic slivered. So slivered that you could barely see it. Despite J-Lo's recent solo trip to Europe, her and Ben still haven't made a decision regarding their rumored split. Quote, they are going through so much individually and as a couple, which, I mean, I feel like J-Lo's the one who's going through a lot individually. They may take some time to see if this complicated moment can resolve itself and they can come back to each other as better people. I really can't stand when a toxic couple cannot accept that they are wrong for each other and continues to try to force a relationship to work when they could go and enjoy a better life with someone who's a better partner. Despite the hard times, Jennifer and Ben are hoping to remain amicable going forward. Quote, they don't hate each other, they're just going through difficult times. Remember, this is a source who came forward back in June, so if she's planning on taking half of his fortune during their divorce, I would assume things have not gone amicably.
There's more than trouble. I mean, they're clearly getting divorced. They are selling their family home that they bought. Ben has moved out. She, we know, is privately looking with a Beverly Hills realtor for her own house. Those are not the signs of reconciliation. This marriage is over. And what's interesting about the documentary, I think, is that just about everybody we spoke to said they saw this coming like a freight train rolling down the tracks. And they saw it coming since their first relationship more than 20 years ago.
I also agree that this marriage is over, but I have a feeling that Jennifer hasn't given up yet. Like headlines have suggested, it seems like she's trying to hold on to this, and the chances are slimmer by the day, but J-Lo probably really wants this to work out because nothing in her life has been working out. Another day, another update on Ben and Jennifer's somewhat confusing relationship status. Sources tell Page 6 that J-Lo wants a summer of, quote, health, happiness, and joy for her family, which sounds so basic. Quote, nothing can break her spirit, really. I mean, not a canceled tour, a flop documentary, a failed marriage. I mean, wow. I need that. I need that kind of whatever that is. The person close to the stitch also says that J-Lo remained smitten with Ben, while multiple sources tell Page Six that she still views him as the love of her life. Ooh, imagine being Ben and having this woman like assuming that he's the love of her life, and he's absolutely not into it. Another source told people that Ben and Jen were still friendly and see each other every few days, only when they're in LA together, which seems to be far and few in between. Because Ben is stuck in this roller coaster of a relationship, his friends, his family, they're all concerned. Like this headline, Matt Damon prepares an intervention for Ben Affleck. Fears Jennifer Lopez split could affect his sobriety. This report writes that Matt Damon is reportedly concerned about Ben's well-being as tension rises in his 2-year-long marriage to Jennifer Lopez. It is insane that they are doing so badly only 2 years into their marriage. Ben has been open about his struggles with addiction before, and it looks like his struggles have intensified as Jennifer Lopez is pulling away from him. Quote, Matt wants to be the closest to Ben and remind him he is loved and supported. Everyone is rallying around Ben, including his ex, Jen Garner, and their kids, Violet, Finn, and Samuel. They're keeping him occupied by suggesting fun things to do. Matt's been an influencer behind the scenes. Anything that will take Ben's mind off of J-Lo is a good thing. Matt believes that Ben's marriage beat him down and pushed him to the edge of relapse from the very beginning. He watched as Ben put his own projects and ambitions to the side to accommodate J-Lo's massive ego. Wow, Matt Damon is really going in. I believe everything Matt Damon has said because Ben never wanted this kind of relationship from the beginning, which probably should have been a conversation they really communicated about way before they went public and got married, because he doesn't like the fame and J-Lo needs more and more fame. She can't get enough.
I got sober when I was younger. I was sober for a couple of years, and then I thought, I want to just drink like a normal person, and I want to have wine at dinner and so on. I started to drink more and more and more, and it was really hard for me to accept that meant I was an alcoholic. I was like, I can just go back. I was fine before. I just need to take a break. I just need to slow down. I'm okay. You know what I mean? This isn't me. And I start to drink every day. And I come home from work and I start to drink, and I just sit there and drink till I pass out on the couch.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am sending love to all of them and their family. I feel like Ben's kids specifically are so fed up, and they just are watching their father act kind of immature and struggle with himself, and they're watching their stepmom do the most, and maybe even watching videos like this and seeing how, I guess, messy everything can be. I feel like they could keep this a lot more under wraps, but they keep sending sources to the press, and they're going to keep us talking. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye guys.